Is it time to redesign your website? First, let's talk about some of the reasons why you may want to redesign your site. I do plan on addressing pricing in a future topic, so keep an eye out for that video if it's something that you're interested in, or you can reach out to us directly. There's roughly about 7 things that I look for or that stand out as clear reasons why a redesign is necessary. So let's get into it. The first thing I look for is how old is the website? When was it last updated or built? Just because a site is old doesn't automatically make it obsolete. Depending on how and when it was built, also how well it's been maintained, will determine if your site is at risk of becoming outdated, vulnerable to security risks, or unmanageable due to old code, old software, and even old hardware. A good website should last about 5 to 10 years before a significant update is required. Some of the things that can motivate a redesign are advances in technology, or industry best practices, or internal changes within your company. Having a UX specialist audit your site a few years after its launch should help you determine if a redesign is necessary, or at the very least provide recommendations on how to increase its longevity. The next question I like to ask is the website performing as intended? Your website doesn't have to be just an online business card. It should be an extension of your business or your brand, a tool that can make things easier for your clients or your team. How many things does your website currently handle for your business? Is there more it can be doing to help you succeed or make your work more convenient? Using your website to automate certain tasks can also save you a lot of time and money. If you feel your website is not doing a great job of this, or that there's more it can potentially do for you, then it might be time for a redesign. If you're not totally sure and you want to learn more about what your website can do for your business, shoot me a message. Next, does your website engage your core audience in the ways that you need it to? The main things websites are used for these days are to inform, contact, sell, and entertain. This varies greatly according to each business's particular needs. Depending on your business model and goals, you may have a specific process for engaging your online patrons. Your site should provide convenience for both you and the end user to be able to find and connect with each other. To improve this, a full redesign may not be necessary. Some minor tweaks here and there may give you the desired outcome. What's most important is that your site ultimately provides value for your business and your customers in the ways that matter most to you and to them. If you or your audience are not seeing any benefit to your website whatsoever, then it may be time to redesign. Has the maintenance fallen behind? Or is managing the site becoming more trouble than it's worth? A simple landing page may be fine for some cases, but some of the sites in our portfolio are huge and require entire teams to manage them, which is why choosing the best content management system, or CMS, for your scenario is so important. Some systems are more complex than others, which can make the task of updating the site or adding content very daunting. Also, without the proper research or training, you may find yourself just spinning your wheels trying to keep it all in order. It's common for things to fall off the rails from time to time. After all, a website is just like a home. It has to be maintained or it will fall apart. After a certain point, however, it becomes a major labor to get everything back on track, which results in your site performing much like a dying animatronic at an old restaurant or theme park. Usually we see this when a client has a site built that has way more features than it needs. We actually get more requests from new clients asking to redesign sites and downgrade or simplify them than we do to make new ones. So if you're at the point where you've written off your site as a liability because there's just a mountain of work involved to make it an asset for your business, then you should probably consider a redesign. Does your site have curb appeal? Compared to your competitors, does it inspire people to want to work with you? Whenever I personally come across a new business, the first thing I do is look at their website. I check to see how well it's made, how it portrays their brand, and how well it functions. Does it help me achieve my current goal, which may be to buy something, find information, and so on? If I see that the site hasn't been touched since 2005, then I immediately assume that the product or service is going to be on par with that. Not that having a pretty website means you have great products or service. But people are more likely to do business with a company that at least looks like they've got it together than one that doesn't. If your goal is to attract customers, then it's important to stand out. And if you feel that your website falls short of presenting an accurate representation of your company or your brand, then it may be time for a redesign. The next question, is it compatible with the latest browsers and mobile devices? This is an easy one. It's a standard for websites these days to be made responsive so they can function on both desktop and mobile devices. If your website is not compatible with mobile browsers, or the mobile user experience suffers from poor design or functionality, then you'll definitely want to consider a redesign, as most users today access the internet through their phones anyway. Last but not least, has there been significant changes within your organization, such as a rebrand, that should be reflected in your online profiles? Your website is often the first thing people see when they become interested in you or your business. So it's important that your first impression be a good one because it can quite literally set the tone for the rest of the relationship. Typically, when a company undergoes a rebrand, the website is included in the project and receives a facelift to reflect new logos, colors, and fonts. This is also a great opportunity to reflect on how well the site has performed up until then and apply any necessary adjustments that can improve the overall experience. This may include small changes or an entire restructure depending on the needs and the goals of the company. And that's it. There's lots of reasons why you may want to redesign your website, but keep in mind this is a major investment. So if you're going to do it, make sure you do it right. And you want to make sure you have the right people helping you and guiding you through the process. Thank you for listening. I hope you got something useful out of this. My name is Charlie Marvin, and this is The Silver Spoon.